Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Authorities have identified the Billings man shot and killed inside a casino early Tuesday morning.
That's where Billings police officers shot the man after he claimed to have hostages, then fired again after the man fell on the floor and apparently reached for his weapon.
Authorities now know that weapon was a pellet gun, but one eyewitness who was in the casino says it was clear the man wanted to die.
44-year-old Sean Hubbard of Billings was shot after threatening patrons and ignoring police orders to stop. Yellowstone County Deputy Coroner Richard Hoffman confirming Hubbard's identity today.
Now, the incident began around 1 a.m. Tuesday when Hubbard's ex-wife called police saying he was banging on her door and windows and threatened to rob a casino. Officers then located Hubbard outside the Lucky Lils casino on Grand Avenue. Police say Hubbard was waving what was later determined to be a pellet gun before he went inside the building. Once
officers were able to get inside, they ordered Hubbard to drop his weapon, but he refused multiple times. He was shot twice and died later at the hospital. An eyewitness posted on her Facebook page after the incident that Hubbard fell on her after he was shot and says it appeared that Hubbard wanted police to kill him.
Hubbard's criminal records include convictions of fraudulently obtaining drugs and theft in Lewis and Clark and Park counties.
In the wake of two officer-involved shootings in Billings this week, Police Chief Rich St. John has scheduled another chat with the chief session for tomorrow night. That 2-hour session will be held at the Lewis and Clark Middle School tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. The public is welcome to attend and share their ideas, thoughts, concerns, and suggestions.
In other news, Wheatgrass County authorities believe they found the body of a man missing for close to 2 weeks.
Authorities alerted on Tuesday of this week that a body had been discovered in an area that had been recently searched. 28-year-old Bryce Arneson of the Bozeman area has not been seen since March 30th. That's when Wheatgrass County authorities responded to a call of an erratic driver near Gray Cliff. Arneson then fled from authorities, but due to severe weather at the time, they backed off.
The search for Arneson resumed the next morning, and his vehicle was located in a creek, but there was no sign of Arneson. An autopsy to determine the cause of death and to officially identify the body was scheduled today.
Well, on to the weather scene. Tonight, Bob McGuire is standing by, and it looks, Bob, that all-time snow record for Billings is going to fall, but not as early as we thought, huh?
Jay, I like the way you said it. We're going to bury it. That's the way out. Let me show you what we have here, though. The threat board right now continues to remain pretty full. We've got a lot of snowfall amounts. All we needed was about a half an inch of snow, right? Well, look at this. We're talking 5 to 10 inches of snow here in south central Montana. Well, let me show you how this is going to play out tomorrow. This is our high-resolution computer model. Here's what we have tonight at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Some scattered rain showers moving in. They'll blow on through. By midnight, here's what we have at probably just a Thursday morning, just some dry skies. By the time 6 a.m. gets here, look at the scattered rain showers moving in. And then throughout the day on Thursday, more rain showers here, but it looks like most of the snow is going to hold back until after 6 p.m. on Thursday. But how much snow are we going to get? Well, the computer models are saying maybe close to maybe 4 inches or so, maybe a little more than that. We'll have to wait and see. One thing we do know for sure, this is probably going to be a winter for the record books. And with more on that, here's Connor.
Well, thank you, Bob. Yes, we are headed towards a record-setting snowfall here, likely on Thursday. But has the rest of the state had the same snowy winter that we've had? I dug into the numbers to show you guys what's going on. Just for our reference, again, we are only 0.4 of an inch away from the record here in Billings. Taking a look at the surrounding area, we have already set records. Columbus, 109.3 inches. Forsyth, 89.2 inches. Those are record-setting winters right here in 2018. Now showing the other side of the coin and shifting westward a little bit, we can see up in Havre, they are very close to breaking a record, kind of in the same boat as us, less than 1 inch away from them. But Great Falls, Helena, and Bozeman are still well away from their records. Great Falls record of 117.5, still a ways away for them. Helena more than 4 feet away from their snowiest winter, and Bozeman more than a foot away from there. So not everyone has had the excess snow that we have had here in Billings. That being said, I think we are all ready for winter to give way to spring. For now, we go back to Jay and Jeanelle.
All right, thanks, Connor.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says he will not run for re-election.
Ryan, if you recall, was in Montana to campaign for Ryan Zinke during the state's 2016 congressional race. The Speaker this morning informed his House colleagues of his decision that came at a closed-door meeting. Ryan plans to serve out his full term and then retire in January.
Ryan is a Wisconsin Republican who's been in Congress since 1999. He was elected House Speaker in the fall of 2015.
Now, Montana Congressman Greg Gianforte calls Ryan a selfless public servant. In a statement today, Gianforte said Ryan has guided the House of Representatives to substantial conservative accomplishments that include the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which he says is helping hardworking Montanans.
Today, Governor Steve Bullock touted a report that says expanded Medicaid has been a big economic plus for Montana. Montana's expanded Medicaid program now provides government-funded health coverage to 94,000 low-income adults. The report, commissioned by two groups that favor the expansion, say it's creating 5,000 new jobs in the state and $270 million in additional personal income. Most of the program's funding comes from the federal government, but the state share will increase to 10% of the overall cost by 2020. The program, however, is set to expire next year. Bullock indicated Wednesday that he supports a proposed ballot measure that would ask voters to extend Medicaid expansion and use tobacco taxes to fund the state share. But if that effort fails, the governor said there's still a strong argument for the legislature to vote to continue it.
Our rural hospitals, who were at one point dealing with up to 40% of their population walking through those hospital doors not having insurance, will say this is important to continue. I think our providers will say this is important to continue. I am hopeful that we've gotten beyond sort of divisive rhetoric and actually look at what works. And I think the Democrats and Republicans can agree that this has worked for Montana.
Now, the proposed voter initiative on Medicaid expansion has yet to be circulated or qualified for the ballot.
No doubt you've noticed that campaign season is upon us here in Montana. Our June primary less than 2 months away. And one of the top races in the state is for our only U.S. House seat. That's where 6 Democrats are competing for their party's nomination to challenge incumbent Republican Greg Gianforte. In the first of a 2-part series, MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison tonight looks at the 3 earliest entries in the contest.
Billings attorney John Heenan was the first Democrat in the race against Republican Greg Gianforte, hitting the campaign trail last summer.
I'm meeting with everyone, not just living inside a bubble, and I think that's how you win in November.
Heenan grew up in the Philadelphia area and came here as a student in 1997 at the University of Montana. He's been here ever since. In his work as a lawyer, he's won large judgments for people in lawsuits against banks and insurance companies, and says Montanans need a street fighter who can battle interests he says are squelching the American dream.
My career has been about representing people against powerful corporations, against powerful entities. I want to represent the people of Montana all day long because they're getting ripped off, they're getting fleeced.
Grant Keir is a former director of the Five Valleys Land Trust in Missoula. He says he spent his career as a problem solver and would bring that practical approach to Congress. Keir says Gianforte doesn't really listen to people he disagrees with, and that's a sharp contrast with him.
The folks that I've worked with have been across the political spectrum. I've helped farm and ranch families expand their businesses. I've helped small communities acquire public lands to expand their economy and recreation and tourism. And I've helped folks in Montana who want more access to their rivers and public lands acquire public lands to have that access. Those are core values of everyday Montanans.
Keir grew up in Kansas and Colorado and moved to Montana 13 years ago. Former State Representative Kathleen Williams of Bozeman also has a career background in land policy. She most recently worked as Associate Director of the Western Landowners Alliance, which promotes responsible rural land ownership and management. Williams calls herself a unique Democrat who has worked with business, agriculture, and other lawmakers to advance policies that help all Montanans.
I think that's what's really going to be competitive against Gianforte is that policy experience and that breadth and depth of knowledge and experience. He is not serving us in the way that I believe Montanans deserve. And I think Montanans will realize that and want to choose a candidate that they trust.
Williams moved to Montana in 1995 and grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. Tomorrow, we'll meet 3 other Democrats in this crowded field. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thank you, Mike. The absentee ballots for the June 5th Montana primary will be mailed out 4 weeks from now.
On to education news. A new report shows Montana is not doing well in reading.
The nation got its student testing report card on Tuesday. Turns out Montana's 8th grade reading scores have dropped since 2015. In fact, Montana is the only state in the country to see a decrease in these test scores. But we need to point out that Montana's average 8th grade student score of 267 is slightly above the national average of 265.
The percentage of 8th grade students in this state who performed at or above the basic reading level is at its lowest since 1998.
Still ahead on tonight's 5:30 News, one city in Montana wants to eliminate a loophole when it comes to background checks for guns. The Montana Attorney General Tim Fox is not so fast. The latest twist in the story coming up.
And in sports, Scott catches up with this free ride world silver medalist from Big Sky.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news.